Hello there, my name is Clark Singleton and I am the president of AmpRx. And here at AmpRx, our primary product is this right here. This is the Brownbox, which was invented by Pat Garrity. Now, shout out to you, Pat. Pat Garrity was looking for a particular guitar tone and he couldn't find it. I believe it was a Peter Frampton record. I'm not 100% sure. We'll have to ask Pat about that. But he couldn't quite get the tone out of the guitar that he was playing, and he said, well, it's probably the amplifier. And so he went and bought the exact amplifier that Peter Frampton had, not the exact one, but the same year and model, I'm sure of it, and played it, and he said, you know, this is still not right. And Pat, with his background in electrical, he said, you know what, I probably need to put the guitar amp at the voltage that it was being played at. If I have a vintage amplifier, then the tone is going to be different if I'm supplying it a different voltage than what it's intended to. So he made the Brownbox. And basically what this device does is if you have voltage coming out of your wall, that usually this is the case, usually it's too high, then this device lowers it using these different knobs. Now, why would you want to lower your voltage? Well, oftentimes in the United States, people believe that we have voltage of 120 and that this voltage is consistent throughout all of the outlets in the United States. But as some of you may know, this is not the case. You can go to many different places and you'll find, I've seen anywhere from 117 all the way to 132. And this voltage used to be down 105 to 115 back in the 50s and 60s, before in the 70s when they slowly transformed things to be the 120 that we know today. So why is this important? Well, if I have a vintage amplifier that I am going to play at any venue, and I go to plug in my vintage amplifier, and I don't even know what the power is, then I don't even know where my beginning spot is. Guitar players are very concerned about their tone and about all of their effects and their knobs and everything, but if I don't have a good beginning point, then I'm not sure what I'm actually plugging into. I'm a bass player, and so I can understand this, not even thinking about what I'm plugging into the wall. It's just power. It should be 120, and it should be power, and my amp turns on, and so I suspect everything to be fine. But even I, a bass player, have experienced an amp blowing up on stage. And it wasn't even a super fancy tube amp, but it still broke my heart. It did have tubes in it, but they were preamp tubes, and it actually caught on fire, and I believe that it was because there was something weird with the power. A lot of times we show up to these clubs, and as Dr. Z said, people's uncles or their brother's friend or whoever does the electrical, and it's just very inconsistent, and we just don't know what's going on. So, wouldn't it be great to have a device in between the wall and our super beloved amplifier? That's where the Brownbox steps in. So now we can plug the Brownbox in. We can see just what the wall voltage is, and it shows it right here on this screen. And then not only can we see what it is, but we can fine-tune the voltage so that we can run our guitar amps at the exact same voltage every single gig and know exactly what our beginning basis is. Isn't that wonderful?